Controllers, the conduit that connects your baller ass, pimp ass to the gaming console. Without it, there is no gaming experience. The mark of a great controller is one you aren't even gonna notice first time around. It functions like it's supposed to and doesn't really draw your attention away from what really matters, the game. Over the years, with the addition of a few buttons, a couple triggers, and some analog stickies, the design hasn't really changed. Bada bing, bada boom. You know what I'm talking about. The Super Nintendo controller is about as close to that stereotypical idea of what a controller is. And you know, for the time it was pretty damn dependable. Like, this linear pattern on the Genesis is still kind of hard for me to get used to. In fact, like, all the Sega controllers kind of don't make sense. I'm sorry, Sega, I do love you. And there is something about these PS1 controllers without the analog sticks that's a little unnerving to me. Like an angel without its wings. As soon as 2D became 3D, the controller got them yabos. And the DualShock 2 is about as revolutionary as a controller gets. It set the standard of true functionality. I will say though that Sega and Nintendo from time to time would take their brains outside of the box. And you can't really knock developers for wanting to have fun and try something a little different, even if they don't really make any anatomical sense sometimes. Where do you want me to put my hands? Oh, okay. But these are just the meat and taters. I want to hear about the mac and cheese, that stuffing. I want to eat that coleslaw. Just kidding, I'm not a goddamn rat. Of course, there's probably still like a million of those mad cats out in the world. But I mean, the distinction to officially released controllers is purely cosmetic and ergonomic. Does that word apply? Sometimes in these earlier systems too, you got the occasional wireless controller that worked about as well as you might assume. The GameCube one worked pretty well though. It felt good too. Ergonomic. However, sometimes a game warranted a little more than the basic blueprint in order to get a real good dose of that immersion. Take fighting games as an example. Sure, you could use the controller you were given, but maybe you need something more akin to the arcades these games thrived in. Bong! Arcade sticks, you little freak. In fact, there were numerous attempts at emulating that arcade experience from the comfort of your own home. Are you Vin Diesel and just need to put a car inside your house? Vroom vroom, here's the steering wheel / gas pedal combo that you're gonna have a pretty hard time finding a comfortable spot to play it. Unless you do it in the car. Are you going through a time crisis of your own? Bang, bang, bang. Damn it, Bobby. Steel Battalion took every one of these concepts and made a big hunk of genius machinery for you to bring home and piss off the old lady. I already talked about these in another video. Are you perhaps an epic rocker baby? Rock on, bodacious babes. I bet you didn't think Donkey Kong was a rocker too. Donkey Konga, a game where the Japanese port had the far superior soundtrack. No! Dance Dance Revolution's the biggest arcade in the world, so of course they have floor pads for that. They don't work. Bro, are you a poser? Then prove it to me by riding this Tony Hawk skateboard. But maybe all this is nonsense to you and you just want to be out fishing with the boys. Well, I could fix that. That's a big boy. I will say the Dreamcast fishing rod made fishing way more fun than it needed to be, and as far as early motion controls go, it's pretty impressive. Speaking of, aside from a few I previously mentioned, third-party manufacturers really ran through every idea in the book. However, Nintendo was always consistently innovating and experimenting, even at the peril of their own designs sometimes. The sort of risk that comes with basing a whole console around motion control is something I think gets overlooked at times. It's the kind of thing that's become so regular you don't really think about it anymore, and it hasn't really been implemented the same way it was with those Nintendo systems. The Kinect doesn't count. However, at the end of the day, the whole foundation for the way you play the game was never really impeded on. You always had some semblance of functionality at your hands. So where do you go from here?
I'm on a highway to hell.
This controller's cool and all, but I wish I could put my hand in. Wow! The controller for the gamer that only likes pressing buttons with one hand. Before I started this video, I only knew that the Power Glove existed, and it's absolutely insane to me this was attempted 2 more times. But what if I'm playing Phantasy Star Online 2 on my GameCube and I want to talk to my Whoa, yes! Oh yeah, baby. I'm gonna buy this and start editing with it. Typing of the Dead. Don't mind if I do. There's even these PS4 controllers that try to level the playing field, having like half a mouse and half a controller. I don't know. I feel like there's a more efficient way of emulating a keyboard. That chainsaw dude from Resident Evil 4 is so scary. I wish I was him. Hell yes. They did these for 2 different systems too. I can't even believe that Nintendo approved this. My instinct when I saw this hands-free NES controller was to start breaking balls until I had to make myself stop and think for like 5 seconds and realize the whole purpose behind it. And I don't know, it's a very thoughtful little thing to do. But how do you like this boy? Yeah, pretty gross, huh? I mean, look at all these ungodly designs. Who is gonna see this and think beautiful? Add it to the collection. There's even a Wu-Tang shaped PS1 controller for a Wu-Tang Clan game. Nobody tell Martin Shkreli about this either. He might reach like metaphysical levels of irritating. Ooh, Ooh, I kind of like this little guy, though. He's a little dry. But let's everybody stop what they're doing. Onimusha 3 had a sword. Yes! Yeah, that's a sword. I'ma cut you up. Actually, why didn't they just make it a gauntlet?